Channel 12 Sports presents coverage of playoff volleyball. Tonight, the Section 5 3A semifinals from Wayzata High School. The first semifinal featuring Maple Grove and Champlin Park. Hello, it's John Jacobson and Andy Gugesberg. And Andy, number 1 seed is Wayzata in the section. Champlin Park, a very close number 2 seed. Terrific season for the Rebels, defending section champion. 25 wins on the year. What can you say about them?
Team wins across the board. Everybody knows about their guns, but one thing that John Junker always does is he gets his role players to buy in. This is what you need to do in order for us to be successful, and his role players are coming through big right now.
Maple Grove, the number 6 seed in this section, but they've really come on strong. They knocked off the number 3 seed Delano last Thursday. 9 straight wins for Sean Haugen's club.
You know, Sean, another great coach that gets kids to play exactly what he needs them to play. They lost some matches earlier. They were down their setter for a week and a half. She had mono. They had some young kids that really weren't ready for varsity, but trial by fire gets them there, puts them on this 9-match win streak, and he's got athletes at every position doing some really nice things.
Champlin Park won the conference this year, Andy, and they beat Maple Grove during the conference season in a match we did in September. What is different tonight for Maple Grove? What do they need to do to pull the upset against the higher seeded team?
Maple Grove has swagger right now. They're riding this 9-match win streak. They're feeling pretty invincible. They're coming in confident. I watched them warm up. Their heads are high. They're ready to go. I talked with a couple of the players before the match in September. They weren't quite as ready to go toe-to-toe with this great Champlin team. Today, it's a different story. The seniors are ready to lead. The underclassmen ready to follow. Going to be a great one here tonight.
And for the Rebels, conversely, what do they do not to overlook Maple Grove and look ahead to Wayzata or Osseo on Saturday?
Again, I had a good conversation with John a couple weeks ago, and he said the schedule didn't allow them to continually be playing the best, continue to get better, but we've got to respect the opponent across the net, and if they take care of business on their side, they should be in a good spot as well.
Winner of this one will take on either Wayzata or Osseo Saturday for the section championship at Anoka High School. We'll be back and start this one. It's Maple Grove, Champlin Park, Section 5 3A volleyball next on Channel 12.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
John Jacobson and Andy Gugesberg back at Wayzata High School, ready for our first 5 3A semifinal. Maple Grove and Champlin Park, the number 6 seed and the number 2 seed. Winner going to the section final. Let's look at the starting lineup for each of these teams for today. Starting with the Crimson, Paige Aspinwall as the center. Lauren Bright had a terrific season in middle blocker, 92 kills for her. Alexa Otto also in the middle. Alessa Peterson and Alexi Preen, outside hitters. Paige Hinsey and Allie Hinsey. An 8th grader is the libero. Izzy Ashburn is one of the setters for Champlin Park. Janae Alderson, middle and outside. Hannah Krimble, big force in the middle. Sydney Hilling, outside hitter and the setter, an all-state player, Metro Player of the Year. Allie Miller, Marissa Battendall-Vidal, and Caitlin Weimerskirch round out the rest of that starting lineup for the Rebels, Andy.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match tonight. We got some seniors. This is the great part about section play. I was able to talk with some kids that I coached just last night. I said, you've got to get out and watch the section semifinals and finals, because there are seniors whose careers will end 1 or 2 stops short of getting to the Xcel Energy Center. You will see some of the best volleyball you will see all year coming from those kids. When you look at Champlin Park, they've got 3 seniors on the floor just about all the time. Maple Grove led by 2 seniors at setter and middle hitter. Going to be a lot of passion on the floor tonight, a lot of emotion. Let's see which team comes out swinging under control to take this match.
You know, and some of the, you look at the coaches, first of all, John Yunker, head coach of Champlin Park, 25-4 this season. Rebels number 5 in Class 3A, actually ranked ahead of Wayzata, number 1 seed, but the Trojans won the 2 head-to-head meetings against the Rebels this season. And Sean Haugen, the head coach at Maple Grove, his team under 500 middle of the season, but 9 matches in a row they have won, including that win against Delano last week after winning their first round match in the section and now into the semifinals. I was about to say some of the best volleyball matches I've done at Channel 12 over the year haven't necessarily been in the section final, but in the semifinals. I remember doing a Hopkins Minneapolis Southwest one a few years ago. Hopkins the favorite. Southwest had so many fans there over at Benilde St. Margaret's. They won a thrilling 5-set match. Last year, you and I were getting set to call the second match that night between, I believe, Maple Grove or Champlin Park and Blaine, the first semifinal. Putino Grace
and Osseo.
And it looked like Osseo hadn't won in the 5th set, and all of a sudden Putino Grace comes back from 6-7 points down, and they win that match. You know, you never know what's going to happen, and you get that emotion of the seniors, especially playing their potentially last match.
Yeah, it's very exciting. You know, I remember I actually just talked, Totino moved over into Roseville section. They had their section semifinal on Monday. I talked with the coaches and a few of the key players just about the emotion of that semifinal win last year after they won a semifinal again this year, and just how exciting it is, you know, the atmosphere. I mean, you can hear in the background, we've got the Champlin student section behind us. They're jacked. Everybody's excited. Going to be a great one here tonight.
Flannel is the theme for tonight. These guys have a theme every different time I come to a match. Last weekend when I shot highlights of their match, it was toga night, red, white, and blue night a couple of weeks ago. Tonight, flannel night for the Rebel students. Now we are set to go. Wayzata and Osseo teams on hand already to watch this one as they get ready for the second semi coming up later. Allie Hinsey will get us started. 8th grade libero of the first serve. Janae Alderson handling it back row. Up to the front, tipped over by Vattendahl Vidal. Aspinwall getting it back and over by Hinsey off of Alderson. The first point of the match goes to Maple Grove.
Well, nice little rally there. Good defense by Alderson in the back row, but they pushed that ball down the line the second time here. Alderson has a good read on it. I don't know. She took a step to her left because she thought it was going somewhere else. She's got to stay still and go make that play.
Step goes to Hilly, who pushes it to the back row. Aspinwall setting it up for Peterson. Rebels keep it alive. Swing and handled in the back row by Alderson off the attack by Preed. The front row. Aspinwall to Peterson. Alderson back row. They set up Hilly again this time. And saved. Good play by Preed to get it back in. Long rally here. Trimble off the blocker and down for a point.
Go to Hilly 4 times. You're normally not going to stop her, and that was actually Sean Haugen's plan. If we can control Hilly, I think we can win the match, and they do for 4 digs in a row, but then Crimble comes through with the winner.
Serve by Marissa Vattendahl Vidal, one of the juniors, along with Hilly and others. It'll be back next year. Alderson is senior among the key players for the Rebels. Double hit called on Maple Grove, and Champlin Park has their first lead tonight at 2-1. Vattendahl Vidal, line drive serve. Dug up by Paige Hinsey, and over here, front row. Tapped over by Miller for a point. Allie Miller, 6-foot junior, gets the point. It's 3-1.
Yeah, good spacing here. Miller sees that the libero has dropped a little deeper, and she should have. Tips it right over the block. Great spot.
Aspinwall for Bright, who gets on top of that hit and gets the point. Lauren Bright had a good season, 306th kill of the season for her.
Yeah, if Maple Grove's in system, they're going to get Bright the ball early, and what that does is it forces Champlin to stay on her a little bit more than they want to and allow the outside hitters to get their one-on-ones.
Mary Peterson is in the match, and she will serve for the first time here tonight. Floats it back throw, handled by Alderson. Ball comes to Hilly, off for Allie Hinsey and out.
Nice pass here, set outside. They've done a switch block, so Aspinwall's actually blocking in the middle. And that should funnel the ball to Hinsey, the libero, but it's just outside of her reach.
Brianna Gore is in. She's serving here in this rotation, and Bright gets the kill for Maple Grove to get the side out.
Another big swing by Bright there, her second kill on as many swings.
Now Alyssa Peterson serving. Team trailing by a point. Aspen back set, hit over by Miller. Cross, dug up by Gore. Hilly will dump it over. Aspinwall to Bright, gets the tip for a point. We're tied at 4.
You can tell Bright and Aspinwall have been playing together for a while. Like I talked about earlier, there's times where Bright will be blocking on the right side to get in front of Hilly's arm. There she stays a little bit in front, tips that ball over for a kill.
Here's Hilly off the blockers, but handled by Maple Grove. Aspinwall back for Bright again. That's to Hilly, tips it over. Handled by Paige Hinsey. Front row, a block in front. Miller got up, got the block. Five for Rebels. Sydney Hilly, as I mentioned, not only first T-ball Metro, but starts to be Metro Player of the Year. And gets an ace serve. Very good server, isn't she?
She's a very good everything, John. 1 or 2 in skills in all 6 of the primary skills. Definitely serving one of her pinnacle points here.
Aspinwall back for Bright, off of Claflin and down on the Maple Grove point. Bright's first rotation serving tonight. There's Alderson with that second kill.
She just gets up so high and is able to get on the ball well by getting herself outside the court in transition here. We'll take a look. Able to get up and go over Aspinwall.
Blocked by Claflin.
It's a big wall over there with Claflin and Alderson. We're going to want to make sure that ball's off the net a little bit more from Aspinwall here. Great block.
Aspinwall bumps it over. Gore diving to the floor to get to that one. Alderson's got to move around her to knock it over. Paige Hinsey off of Alderson. Great dig by Hilly. Pushed across by Vatndal Vidal. In the middle over by Otto for a point. Alexa Otto gets the kill and a point for Maple Grove.
That ball might have been up.
And Maple Grove kept playing the point.
I just like to see controversy, though. That's all it is, John.
Hilly for Alderson.
When we did this match in September, we were eventually calling that kill before the ball was served. When Hilly's setting Alderson and they are in rhythm, there is nobody in the state that can stop them.
Alderson, third team All-Metro. And a big serve by Izzy Ashburn.
We talked about in the pregame about the role players doing their job, and Izzy Ashburn does just that. The freshman setter does a really good job.
Weimer skirts up to the front row, pushed across by Vatndal Vidal. Aspinwall back across. In the middle, Aspinwall shooting it over. And for Alderson, handled by Aspinwall. Over by Preed. Ashburn to Vatndal, and Paige Hinsey got it. They're in some trouble, and they won't be able to return it.
Nice defensive effort by the Crimson there. Stayed in it, stayed in it, stayed in it, just couldn't hold on to finish. It's a whole lot of offense from Champlin Park.
Alderson serves. Oh, right into the net on the hit from Melissa Peterson.
Early in the year, they didn't have Alderson and Hilly opposite each other, so there was a rotation where they were pretty vulnerable. I don't know when John made the change, but I like it.
Ball in the middle, hit over by Paige Hinsey. Here's Hilly. Oh, nice dig up by Allie Hinsey. Vatndal attack is put back. Maple Grove playing a strong defense at this point. Hilly tipping it, and they get the point. A player into the net for Maple Grove, with a couple of nice digs for the Crimson to keep that rally alive. 12-7 though. Champlin Park up on top by 5 as Alderson with the serve. Here's Peterson attacking, blocked. Scramble, and no.
Net violation as she brought it up out of the net, I guess. Timeout, Maple Grove. You know, it's not that Maple Grove is playing poorly. There's a couple mistakes there late, 2 net violations to give them 12 and 13. Maple Grove's doing some really nice things. There's just a lot of Champlin Park right now. They're doing all the little things right, taking big swings. Take a look at this bracket here. Wayzata Osseo. Osseo pulling off the upset over Blaine after Blaine beat him in the regular season, and it was relatively convincing. I hope my wife isn't listening. That'll be our second match.
Coach.
Right,
yes,
exactly. Yes. That'll be our second match tonight. Champlin, Maple Grove. Good battles to get to these points, though. Maple Grove and Delano is probably, when you look at the scores, the biggest shocker of the entire week leading up to this. What were the scores on that one? Do you have it in front of you here? It was 18, 10, and 10. Maple Grove sweeps Delano. That's why they came in with the confidence they had. They're going to need some of that confidence back here if they're going to come back and make a game of this set here.
Remember that first match we did between these two teams? First set was 26-24. Champlin Park won, and the second and third sets weren't as close. So Maple Grove hoping for some of that positive momentum. And they get a point there to start, and it's 13-8. Melissa Peterson with the kill.
Peterson coming on nicely lately for Sean and the Crimson. Said she had a really good match last Tuesday. Played pretty well on Thursday as well.
Allie Hinsey using the tape, gets it down for an ace.
Eighth grader with good hand contact, drops that ball, catches tape. Hilly makes a great effort for it, but it's a little bit in front of her.
Hilly handling this one in the back row. Now comes back to her from Ashburn. Taken by Peterson. It's too long and wide on her swing. Point for Champlin Park.
Crimson are doing a pretty good job containing Hilly right now. She's not hurting him too much, but everybody else is.
Right with the kill from Aspinwall. Lauren Bright brings her team back to within 4.
Another good pass, Aspinwall to Bright. For some reason, I think Hilly thought that was more of a 31 set, which she's not responsible for blocking, but she's got to get off and play a little defense there.
Mary Peterson backs in, back into the rotation and serving. Ashburn setting it up for Hilly for the kill.
Okay, Sydney, we see you. Great pass here. Good rhythm set. Hilly goes, sees that they've done the switch block and cuts it in front of Aspinwall.
Gore serving, handled by Allie Hinsey. It's hit by Bright at the net. Ashburn will put it in this timing on the set and the hit by Miller, and the ball drops at the Maple Grove point. Ashburn for Hilly. 16-11. Hilly back to serve. Aspinwall back and off the blockers, and on point for Maple Grove on the attack from Paige Hinsey.
Hinsey gets that ball a little bit tighter than she probably wanted it, sees the block, and does a really good job throwing it off the top of the hands.
Right, and the Crimson trail by 4. Hilly setting, and they're getting a little missed time in the middle. This time it's Champlin who's going for the tip at the net. A couple of Rebels errors have helped the Crimson come back to within 3. They were down 6. Miller caught the corner, gets the kill. Keelan Weimer-Skirch, just a freshman serving. Ball at the net and tipped over by Vatndal Vidal. And the kill for Champlin Park, and the lead back to 5 at 18-13.
Weimer-Skirch really wearing that libero jersey well. Very calm in serve receive, doing the little things well.
Good dig up by Allie Hinsey. Paige Hinsey, and there's a little miscommunication. Who's going to take that ball? And it's 3 in a row here for the Rebels. Another timeout by Sean Haugen.
A little bit more error-driven since the last timeout. Maple Grove kind of getting a little tight, afraid to make a mistake. And when you do that, when you play not to lose, that's when you end up making those little chintzy errors where you're hitting balls and they're not getting over their net, where you're blasting balls out of bounds. They've got to stay with the aggressive swagger they started with if they're going to push this and make this a match worth getting involved in. Champlin's scary right now. Like they don't even look like they're putting that much effort into it. They're working that hard to get to this point where the actual touch of the ball is pretty easy. They're reading well, moving ahead of the game, doing a lot of really nice stuff.
While we have a moment, you mentioned seeing the Section 4 semifinals on Monday night. Who do you like in that final? Roseville area and Ticino Grace?
You know, I gotta say Roseville. They've got the experience of going there for the last few years, and although I love both coaches, the Hewlin factor is always in play. That guy gets more out of his kids than any coach in the state.
Weimer-Skirch serving and gets a nice off of Allie Hinsey, and now it's 20-13. When you're a coach of a team that's the 20 and you're ahead by 6-7 points, how much do you preach to your kids? Great attack there by Otto and the kill. Here, close it out, you know, go for the kill. We're at 25 more, let's do it.
It depends on the team. I've had teams where that's the communication. I've also had teams where it's, hey, we need 21. And then once we get that, okay, now we need 22. Because you start talking about the set being over before the set's over, bad things tend to happen. I know she's all Metro, but that's a double.
Hilly for Alderson, pushing it back row, dug up by Peterson. Play with a dig. Weimer-Skirch for Vatndal Vidal. Back row, Peterson handling that again. Here's Paige Hinsey. Hilly gets it off the block. Attack and wide. And out of play. A good rally, but the point will go to Maple Grove as Claflin missed.
That's the first time we've said that at the end of a long rally. Champlin's been getting all those long rallies. Maybe that's the switch that Maple Grove needed here. Great pass.
Way to Alderson. Off of Aspinwall and out. (21-15) Rebels. First in the best of 5 tonight. Aspinwall outside. Creed gets blocked. Point for Champlin Park. Trimble and Alderson getting up.
Going to need to clean up the serve receive on the Crimson side here if they're going to pull back.
And it'll go with an ace. Caroming off the Crimson. Back-to-back good serves from Izzy Ashburn.
Hinsey just doesn't look that ball into her platform. Recovers there well.
Aspinwall to Otto. Nicely done by the Crimson. And they stop Champlin Park for a moment at least, 23-16.
Very impressed with Hinsey after getting aced for 23 to stick that pass that well.
Ashburn back to Alderson. There's point 24. Janae Alderson makes it set point for the Rebels. Good serve in the air, and this one over by Preed. Ashburn setting. Here's Hilly with the attack. Out of play. First set goes to Champlin Park. 25-16, Andy.
Good energy by the Rebels in set one. They win the set going away 25-16. Let's take a look at that last point. Alderson serves very tough to get it started. All sorts of chaos for the Crimson. They're going to give away a free ball, and that's going to end poorly for you. Good spot with that free ball, but eventually the ball goes outside to Hilly. Too much for the 8th grader, Hinsey. She digs the ball back over and out of bounds. I was asked earlier about what my thoughts are on this section, and I said, well, that depends on what Hilly wants to do, and if that's the Hilly we're going to get, we're going to see Champlin make it to the state tournament. They're playing really well.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with the second set. Maple Grove, Champlin Park, Section 5, 3A semifinals from Wayzata High School continues in a moment.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
It's so shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Some of the Crimson fans who are on hand here tonight. Their team losing the first set, 25-16. Hoping for something different, Andy Guttersburg, in set number 2. What do they need to change, or is it sometimes the case where the other team's better?
I think a lot of it is Champlin Park's that good. I'm not saying it can't be done, but Maple Grove's going to have to clean up their serve receive. That first contact's got to be better, so they've got more than one option. If they've got one option, Champlin Park's block is too big for their outside hitters from Maple Grove to do anything productive with the ball.
Again, Wayzata and Osseo will wait the winner of this one. That's the second semifinal. Jay Wilcox and Andy will be on hand for that one. The winners meeting Saturday at Anoka High School at 1 o'clock for the section championship.
We'll be doing that one too as well.
Yes.
Good, good. Well, I'll be doing that one.
Yes.
Alderson's going to start with the serve here. It's great to have that option, to have the option to start an attacker as dynamic as Alderson in the back row, because the kid opposite her is that good.
Comes to Hilly from Ashburn. Well blocked. Alderson, a good dig. Go to Hilly again. We'll tap it over. Aspinwall getting it to Allie Hinsey. Back it goes to Freed off the blockers. And the first point of set 2 goes to Maple Grove. Lexi Freed, just a freshman.
Much calmer there is the 8th grader as she takes a little off when she bump sets that ball off the net. Freed does a nice job finishing the play.
Mary Peterson serving. Ashburn, back set, handled by Allie Hinsey. Here's Alyssa Peterson front row. Rebels took care of that. Hilly taps it over, diving to the floor, but hitting it wide and out. Mary Peterson, and we're tied at 1.
Hilly giving away that tip pretty early. I was expecting Peterson to make that play.
Vidal, back row. Hinsey, Aspinwall, Bright gets blocked. Boy, Hilly got showed some elevation above the net there.
That's a great block. First time I've seen that blocked all season. Great play, triple block. Aspinwall's got to see that, maybe go someplace else.
Right this time, tapping it over. That'll work too.
Or like just say you're not going to stop Lauren Bright twice, I guess. Great decision by Aspinwall. I'll stop talking.
Alyssa Peterson to serve. Tied up at 2 early here in set 2 into the net. Point to the Rebels.
Not what you want to do to the Champlin Park student section. They tried to get in her head and she missed her serve. Could be a long night for Peterson.
Gore in to serve. Brianna Gore, sophomore, defensive specialist, puts it in play. Aspinall, the long run off that pass. Pushed over from a tough angle by Paige Hinsey. He gets it down for the kill. Look at this
Pass
again, Andy.
A little bit of trouble. Aspinall does a great job just getting there. And then Hinsey, same thing. That's a tough ball. There's one spot she can put that, and that's where it drops for a kill.
Bright serving, back row off Alderson. A little unsure what she was going to do with her hands and was caught in between. And it's an ace for Lauren Bright and the Crimson.
Now we have chaos with the 3-ball exchange. I like the idea of a 3-ball exchange, but you got to have players that can execute it. A little bit of confusion there. Here we go.
Bright. A little softer on that serve. Here's Hilly with the attack and kill.
She elevates so well. The block timed it perfectly. She hit it on the way down, and the block was already almost back on the ground.
Paige Hinsey attacks. Held up by Weimerskirch and hit over by Miller. Aspinwall go back to Hinsey again. Back row off of Gore. They're not going to be able to let this one return. The Crimson get the point. They tie it at 5. Alderson gets the kill.
That's a big
now
swing.
We're tied at 5. Yeah, it was a big swing, wasn't it?
You run that stack with the quick set and the 2-ball over the top. It's hard to stop them both.
Hilly back to Janae Alderson, cross court for a kill. You and I have both seen Champlin Park a few times this year, probably more than me, but you sometimes watch those two in sync, and you're right, it's hard to stop both of them, right? They're kind of like 1 and 1A, and depending on which match and what set,
yeah,
it depends on who's the 1 and who's the A.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maple Grove comes back, they get a nice kill there.
Their first touch is so much better this set. Another great pass. Aspinwall doesn't have to do much, gets the ball right in her hand. She's able to deliver for the kill.
Otto's kill, tying it up at 6. Alderson back. That one dug up great. Otto! And that one dug up by Weimerskirt. Over by Vatndal Vidal and blocked by Preed, and Maple Grove gets the point.
8th grader Allie Hinsey still doesn't know how she dug that ball, but she knows her team just scored a point. That's a great play. Look at the smile on her face.
Well, and Sean Hagen talked to us before the match, Andy, about how she has come along and matured and learned kind of on the job, so to speak, this season and improved as a varsity level player. Kill for Alyssa Peterson. Maple Grove up by 2.
There's that swagger that Maple Grove needed. Another great dig set outside on a tee for Peterson. Great swing by the junior outside.
Paige Hinsey serving. Weimerskirt's got it. Hilly. Vatndal Vidal off Allie Hinsey, bouncing up in the speakers. It's a live ball there, played across by Maple Grove. Hilly for Vatndal Vidal again. To the front row, Alderson with the free ball, able to put it away.
Great rally again. Pass is a little tight, and Alderson knows if somebody digs the ball over, you go right back at him, and that's what happened right there. Hinsey not able to handle the second one at all.
Izzy Ashburn serving. Peterson getting blocked by Alderson and Trimble.
Ball set outside. There's a wall waiting there. Alderson, great block. Good swing by Peterson. She's got to see that block though.
The ball came back off of Melissa Peterson. Otto trying to tip it over for a block. Rebels handled it. Hilly pushing it across at the net. Aspinwall back for Otto. Aspin back to Alderson. Aspinwall, Allie Hinsey, and over by Preed. Gets the kill.
Don't have to be pretty, John. Whole lot of chaos on the Crimson side. Ends with a very, very strong finish. Preed just pushing that ball over and through the block.
9-8 Crimson. Ashburn back to Alderson. Blocked. And a point for Maple Grove. They're back up by 2.
Back set to Alderson. Stuffed, blocked. Just a great close by Bright. Her and Peterson go up and close that ball down.
Rebels will have to scramble here, and Alderson does get it over. Aspinwall to Bright. Maple Grove has its first 3-point lead of the match.
Great pass again. 31, and Alderson is confused as to how that went through the block.
Allie Hinsey's service error gets Champlin Park the side out. Janae Alderson serves.
Great pass.
Aspinwall outside. Alyssa Peterson. Ashburn's got to run to that ball. And Champlin Park gives up the point on the error. And they trail again by 3. Hilly pushed it over. Front row, Otto, or excuse me, Bright, got it across. There's Hilly, off of Paige Hinsey. Aspinwall back for Alyssa Peterson, dug up nicely by Weimerskirt. Hilly tips it over, handled by Mary Peterson. Here's Alyssa Peterson over. And a long rally here, Vatndal Vidal gets blocked and then dug up and put over. Good play by Ashburn. Ashburn will get to this ball. With Hilly over and down. Terrific rally. Champlin Park gets the point in the end.
Great swing. That point was saved by Weimerskirts, but we'll see the ender here from Hilly. Bright Aspinwall go up and try and block. Bright's a little late getting her hands pressed. Great swing by Hilly.
Little hesitation there. Ashburn set it up outside for Hilly. Tops it over for another Rebel point.
Allie Hinsey, the 8th grader, wanted to play that second ball with her hands, but knew if she played it with her hands, they weren't going to be able to swing with the libero set rule. So she plays it with her platform. Good heads-up play, doesn't end the way she wanted it, though.
Hilly, played up by Allie Hinsey. Comes to Peterson, front row, got it over for a point. Alyssa Peterson, the junior, with another kill. 13-11 Crimson.
Peterson looks very unorthodox when she swings, but she finds a way to get that ball on the ground.
Ashburn a set at, nobody there. Crimson by 3 again. Kelly from Ashburn gets the kill. Despite the dive by Alyssa Peterson.
Yeah, if they're going to leave Aspinwall on the right side blocking, they've got to make sure that Peterson gets down the line because that's what's open.
Trimble out, Brianna Gore back in. And Gore to serve. Aspinwall back for Bright. And over by Ashburn. Aspinwall for Bright in the middle, off the blockers.
Wow.
Kept alive by Alderson. Here's Paige Hinsey, too long on the swing, and the point for Champlin Park. Both Gore and Alderson getting touches on defensively and keeping that point alive, Andy.
Great defensive effort, play until the whistle. Beautiful, beautiful play by the Rebels.
Aspinwall's got a run for this one, and touched over by Paige Hinsey. Back it goes. Miller put it across. Aspinwall back outside to Hinsey, dug up by Alderson. Ashburn for Hilly, and we're tied at 14. 3 in a row for Champlin Park.
Sean Haugen reiterating what we talked about earlier. That ball gets set outside, and Aspinwall's on the right side blocking. Peterson's got to have her foot on the line, knowing that's where Hilly's going to go.
Paige Hinsey put it over. Here's Hilly. Over the blockers and down for a point. Maple Grove's going to use a timeout.
Great start by the Crimson. Pretty good movement throughout. They lose the lead here after a 4-point run. We'll watch the last one. Hinsey, little trouble handling the first ball. Older sister Hinsey tips it over. It's not going to end well when this happens. And there's Hilly, tip, and it's not that they're not playing the whole game well, that we're back to the beginning, right? They're struggling in that first contact. Serve receive isn't going where it needs to go, meaning it's a transition game, and Champlin Park's got the athletes to win in transition. You got to make sure we take care of the first contact so they don't get an opportunity to dig, to work hard and score in transition.
(15-14). Rebels with 4 straight have come back to take the lead here in the second set, but a stronger set overall for Maple Grove.
Yeah, significantly better than we saw in the first set. And it comes back to those basics. It comes back to taking care of first touch.
Good run for the Rebels in this rotation with Gore serving out of the timeout, leading by 1. Aspinwall outside Paige Hinsey. Alderson, she fights to the net on that pass. Point Maple Grove, and they've come back to tie it at 15. Bright back to serve. Set goes to Hilly, tapping and over, and is it down? Yes, it is. Crimson were a little undecided what to do. They let it go, and Hilly's hit is in.
Good tip by Hilly. Bright thinks it's out, and it drops short, drops in. She knew it as soon as it hit the ground. Aspinwall.
Paige Hinsey off the blockers. Back row handled by Ashburn. Here's Alderson. Goes wide. Point Maple Grove.
Paige Hinsey is just uncorking on the ball right now. It's real fun to watch her swing. Alderson here sees line is open, just goes a little bit too much thumb on that ball. Misses it wide.
Hilly will dump it over. Dug up by Aspinwall. Paige Hinsey off the blockers. Hilly, Weimer skirts. Alderson a run to the net. Tipped back over by Freed. That will be a point for Maple Grove. Crimson back in front, 17-16. Trying to even this matchup at a set apiece.
It's just a
Hilly for Alderson. McKill.
good swing by Alderson there. When you're serve receiving, you're actually more accurately on offense than defense. The Champlin Park student section had it backwards. That's okay.
Four. Over by Battendall. Vidal. Crimson scrambling a little bit, but Allie Hinsey gets it across. Here's Alderson from Hilly. McKill.
It's 17-17. Aspinwall's got to hit the floor on that play. Got to give a little more effort to keep that one alive.
Weimer skirts floating over her serve. Aspinwall back for Paige Hinsey, gets blocked. Comes toward the table. Hinsey get it across, or got it over for Freed, who put it in to play. And Maple Grove unable to get back in the right spot defensively. Andy and Alderson gets the kill.
Yeah, just a good effort, but they've got to reset once that ball goes back over the net. Here they are, like you said, they're still kind of panicking and moving. Allie Hinsey kind of diving to her left instead of being stopped in balance, which is why she's late moving to her right. Older sister Paige late getting in. That missed serve is the Christmas card they needed.
Weimer skirts service error makes it 19-18. Rebels by 1. Paige Hinsey back to serving. Hilly for Alderson. Get it? No. Missed it wide. We're tied up. Alderson's missed on a couple of hits here in this set. Now it's 19-all. Hinsey serving. There's Alderson in the middle. Whistle. Double hit called on Champlin Park. And the Crimson with 3 in a row. Taking it back 20-19. Maple Grove now. Hilly, toss for Battendall Vidal, handled by Allie Hinsey on a bad break, went off the speaker up above the net on the Maple Grove side of the court. And we're tied at 20.
Good volleyball, great rallies, good defense, big swings, everything you look for in a section semifinal.
Aspinwall put it across. There's Alderson. Champlin Park's back in front.
Great back set to Alderson. She goes up, stays high on the ball, goes thumb down to push that ball down the line. Great swing by her.
Now going back to that point a moment ago, the one that went off the speaker, I've seen that come into play a few times here in section tournament play. Volleyball, basketball several years ago when Blake Hoffarber was the star player at Hopkins. Throwing an inbound pass near the end of the game to try to win it. Ends up going off the curtain, goes out of bounds to the other team. They lose the game. May not have won it anyway, but they had no chance because the ball went off and it was a violation and a turnover. So it's interesting when you play on these field houses with the ceiling just a little bit lower and comes into play.
Yeah, there's a lot of gyms in the area that are like that. And then you win your section, you go down to the Excel. And I remember talking with Doug Bergman back when he was the assistant coach at Lakeville North. And he said, I want to teach my kids just for that tournament to serve a ball high enough to let the wind take it in the upper tunnels. I'm like, well, Doug, you got an X amount of time to get ready for a state tournament. I don't know if that's what you want to do, but to each their own. We back to live action here. 21-20, Champlin up 1 set already.
Crucial time here for Maple Grove, Andy. They want to win this set. Yep. The net. Oh, and came back That didn't go the way they wanted it to out of that timeout. It gets a Champlin Park point.
Allie Hinsey a little tight. Sean Haugen in a little bit of disagreement with the call there. Call was Hinsey passed the ball tight, went up into the plane of the net. Center's back row. Ball gets contacted by both players at the same time. If it's in the plane, it's a back row attack. If the ball hasn't gotten to the plane yet, then it's a penetration violation on Champlin Park, and it would be 21-21. It's a judgment call. I like Sean's argument here, but Al Terrera is not going to exchange that call.
And it's little things like that don't go your way that can make a difference sometimes, especially when you have not as much margin for error perhaps as your opponent. Back to the match here, 22-20. Aspinwall across almost to Peterson. A good attack, but blocked by Krimble. Back to Peterson, giving it over. Ashburn outside for Vatndal. Vidal gets blocked by Otto and Creed. Here's Alderson of Allie Hinsey and down. Good long rally. Champlin Park gets the point.
Another good rally. Great set outside. We're going to come back here to Alderson. Hinsey caught out of position, still trying to get back off the last dig.
Woo. Ashburn missing on that serve. Big point for Maple Grove, 23-21.
Allie Hinsey's body language did not agree with that ball being called out of bounds. Shoulders dropped, thought she'd let one go there.
Ashburn back to Alderson, gets blocked by Bright.
Bright back into the game and making her presence felt immediately. Good back set here, a little tight. I think Bright reached over Peterson.
Oh, Allie Hinsey's serve is long. It's 24-22. Set point here for the Rebels. Alderson puts it in play. Aspinwall outside to elicit Peterson off the blockers. Point Maple Grove.
That's how you swing when your opponent has set point. You go up and rip the cover off the ball. Beautiful, beautiful swing by Peterson. Great placement. See, this ball's going to Hilly. Let's see what happens.
Mary Peterson to serve to keep her team in this set.
Aspinwall's going to be blocking right. Look for Hilly to get this ball on the outside and take it down the line.
Hilly pushes it to the corner. Paige Hinsey got to that. Scramble. Alyssa Peterson gets it over. Alderson goes to the floor. Back it comes to Hilly. Taps it to Bright. Aspinwall back to Bright. Off the blockers. Alderson. Ashburn for Hilly off the block. Paige Hinsey handles it outside. Alyssa Peterson blocked by Krimble at the net. Scramble for Maple Grove and Paige Hinsey. Whoa, point for Champlin Park. Double contact called on that. And Maple Grove falls short and Champlin Park wins the set 25-23. Andy, what did you see on that last one?
I saw great hustle by two teams with a set 1 point apart. At that point, the official's uniform has to have a pocket in it so you can take your whistle out of your mouth and let them play. That's not the call to end that set. Great hustle by both teams. Good effort by Hinsey to get that ball over. Was it a double? Yeah, but not there. Not there. Not okay with that call. 25-23. Rebels take set 2. Good for them. They played hard. They earned the set victory.
They're up 2-0. We'll come back with more Section 5 volleyball from Wayzata High School after this timeout.
An eating disorder feels like having another person inside your head. It kind of built this wall around me.
The main thing that we needed was hope.
Your age, your gender, your ethnicity. Eating disorders don't discriminate. They can strike anyone. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, We each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy! Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
Second seed, Champlin Park, leading at 6th seed Maple Grove. 2 sets to none. We get ready for third set, our best of 5 for semifinal tonight at Wayzata. Wayzata, the top seed, and 5 seed Osseo to follow.
Yeah, good volleyball in set 2 there. Crimson brought out everything they had, played a little tight in the middle section there, came back, made a set of it. Champlin goes for the finish. Good job by them. We're going to see a different, I've seen enough of these matches. I doubt we're done in 3. There's going to be some great heart and intensity and fight from the Crimson. Those seniors don't want to be done. If their first touch, I mean, it doesn't matter what level we're talking about. You can be talking about 12 and under JO volleyball, high school, college, Olympic level volleyball. If you take care of the first contact, your odds of winning increase by a factor of 10. When they do that, Maple Grove can be on the same court with this Champlin Park Rebel team. When they don't, they just don't have the horses.
Allie Hinsey will serve to start set number 3. Goes to Kimball in the middle, blocked by Brian for a 3rd consecutive set. Maple Grove starts out with the first point. Hinsey serving, back row. Weimer Skirch. Here's Aspirin across to Hilly for a point. We're tied at 1. Vidal serving. Ball to the net, Aspinwall, and hit wide and crossed by Peterson. Often at the start of a new set, you don't have quite the emotion that you had late in the other one, but these points count the same as the ones at the end of the match.
They absolutely do. They absolutely do.
Peterson making a run out, spins it over. Hilly from Ashburn, another kill for Hilly, her second this set, and it's 3-1 Rebels.
Good set, high outside. Hilly uncorks on it, great swing.
Aspinwall for Bright, dug up by Ashburn. Bright another attack, handled back row by Gore, over by Hilly. Allie Hinsey across and Creed blocked by Trimble and Hilly.
Great read early on in this play to have Aspinwall dig that ball. Only one spot Hinsey can set it, and the Rebels knew it.
Creed, cross, back row, handled by Vidal, over by Hilly. Creed across, Ashburn with the dig, Alderson back, Hilly over. Allie Hinsey to Aspinwall to Bright for the kill.
Bright spots a little bit of hardwood there that's open and drops it in front.
Both Aspinwall and Bright going on next year. Andy, play college volleyball, along with Alderson on the Champlin Park side.
Yeah, Aspinwall recently verbally committed to Drake University, actually on Halloween Day. Bright's going to Lehigh. Alderson on the other side is going to Providence. And I don't know of any of the other seniors, but Hilly is going to end up at Wisconsin when she gets there.
Kill by Hannah Krimble a moment ago. Puts Champlin Park up by 5. Gore is back in. Aspinwall across, handled by Weimer-Skirch. Hilly. Crimson. Swing it back to Peterson. Melissa Peterson with the kill.
Little chaos play as the ball trickles over the net, and Peterson with that same swing we've seen all night. One speed.
Nice serve off the tape for Peterson. It's her team back to within 1.
You see Coach Haugen focused in on what the Rebels are doing, looking at their serve receipts, trying to figure out what advantage he can give his team.
Off of Alderson and over by Hilly. Aspinwall outside to Paige Hensey for the kill.
Great swing by Hensey, lines open and she takes it. 5-5.
3 in a row for the Crimson. Peterson serving. Ashburn for Hilly. Off the block, point Champlin Park. Sydney Hilly came into tonight's match, 407 kills. Janae Alderson, 311. Aspinwall over by Hensey. Hilly got it over. Hensey from Aspinwall, dug up Weimer-Skirch. Here's Alderson, gets the kill. Seven 5, Rebels up by 2. Hilly serving. Hensey over. At the net, a little missed time there, but Bright still able to get it over and down for a point.
Ugly but effective.
Yes. 7-6. Look at this again.
Aspinwall wanted to get a better contact on it. Bright didn't think she was going to get to it and set it that way. All sorts of chaos, but it drops.
Alderson from the middle, handled by Mary Peterson. Here's Paige Hensey. Hilly got it over. Aspinwall in the middle. Big swing and a kill for Otto. Tied at 7. Bright. Not the serve. Here's Hilly to Alderson. Got it down.
That's a sniper swing right there. The only spot that was open on the court, and she found it. Great attack by Alderson.
Rebels back up. Weimer-Skirch to serve. Weimer-Skirch ready to serve. And missed. No, got it down for an ace. Actually missed just wide instead of Crimson. See it drop, and it's a 2-point Rebels lead. Aspinwall outside, Hensey. Hilly got that one, then miscommunication between Weimer-Skirch and Gore there. Results in an error and a point for Maple Grove. Whose ball is that, Andy, normally?
Should be the liberos in every offensive system and defensive system I run, but I don't know what John's doing. I think he actually just told the libero that that's Gore's ball. So
one off the ceiling, and Allie Hensey got it over and hits it long. Izzy Ashburn back in. She'll serve here. Rebels by 2. Off from Valley Hinsey, an ace.
That's not the look you want from your libero, as Allie Hinsey got ace there. A little bit of scared, little chaotic there. They go at her again. She recovers nicely.
Ball in the middle, hit over by Otto. Here's Alderson with the kill.
Alderson playing really good volleyball right now, taking big swings, getting herself available.
Ashburn, who leads the team in aces, drops in another one. At 41 on the season, coming into a match timeout, Maple Grove.
Just pulls the string on that one. That's a beautiful serve. Drops it right in front of 8th grader Allie Hinsey. Haugen calls a timeout, knows exactly what his team needs to do, and that is, as Aaron Rodgers said last year, RELAX. Just relax. They're playing very tight right now, not controlling that first touch, not getting their feet to the ball. That's all they got to do. They make a little bit of adjustment. They play loose and relaxed. They're going to be just fine. Champlin's got all the momentum right now, though. Freshman serving very well. Look for her to attack the 8th grader Hinsey again, coming off this timeout, and see how Maple Grove handles it.
So now a 5-point Rebels lead as we come out of the timeout. Ashburn already got 2 aces in this rotation. Aspinwall for Bright, handled by Ashburn. Over by Hilly. Aspinwall across to Paige Hinsey. Point Maple Grove. A big one for the Crimson. They look to extend this match.
Get out of that rotation. Hinsey takes a big swing to get herself back to the service line.
It goes to Alderson. Too strong. Team 10 here in set number 3. Trimble at the attack. Aspinall, nice job to dig that ball up. And gets it over here in the 3rd hit. Outside, the bat and ball, the ball dug up by Allie Hinsey. This is Peterson off the kill for Maple Grove.
Whole lot of left side swings coming from Maple Grove here, and they're doing a pretty good job late in this match getting them over and down for points. Another unloaded swing from Peterson deep into the 5.
3 straight for the Crimson. Vidal pushing it down the line. Big point for Champlin Park. Their lead back up to 3. Alderson serving. Aspinwall, Melissa Peterson. Alderson to the front rope. Aspin's got to run to it to Hilly. Aspinwall back outside to Melissa Peterson. Killed for Peterson. Point Maple Grove.
Peterson's got to be approaching, if not surpassing, double-digit kills right now. Another good swing down the line. Alderson reads her going cross. Isn't stopped. Can't make the move.
Allie Hinsey. Back set. Excuse me, set 2 Hilly from Ashburn. Aspinwall to Bright for the kill. Off of Trimble. (14-13). Ashburn to Hilly. Back over, Hilly and Ashburn again. This time to Vattendahl Vidal. Wright gets to the floor. Can't hit the pass up to Preed, and the point goes to Champlin Park.
Another good long rally, won by Champlin Park.
Serve for Vattendahl Vidal. Aspinwall for Bright. Ashburn back to Miller. Allie Miller with the kill.
Great cut shot by Miller there as everything leaned that ball towards Maple Grove's left side. She cuts it back cross court.
And Dalbadal with an ace. Off Allie Hinsey. 17-13 Rebels.
Great serve. Hinsey trouble handling.
Go at her again. This time able to get it up to Aspinwall over for Peterson. Took another hit off the ceiling on the Crimson side. Timeout, Maple Grove.
Sean Haugen does not look happy with his squad. They're not giving the effort that they have put in to get to this point. A 9-match win streak about to come to an end if they can't find a way here. And look at this last point. Serve doesn't have much mustard on it. Aspinwall bumps it way too high, and there's no communication. Nobody's looking to see what the ball is actually doing. We're trying to get ahead of the game instead of playing contact for contact. They need to relax. They need to go back to the basics. They've got to get their communication back if they're going to take this to a 4th set. Champlin Park starting to feel they're ready. This is their chance. They're going to be in that section final. They'll get to watch the Wayzata-Osseo match and figure out who they get on Saturday. But as we talked about earlier, you don't want to put the cart before the horse. You've got to take care of this point. Figure out how to get 19 and then 20, but 1 point at a time.
(18-13). Maple Grove out of timeout. And Batten Dalbadal to serve again. And off of Paige Hinsey that time, and an ace again. Aspinwall in the middle. Bright gets blocked. Return by Maple Grove is over.
First pass we've had in 5 swings. They go to Bright, which is the spot, but Bright doesn't get it up high enough, puts it into the block, and they stuff it back. She gets covered out of bounds.
Aspinwall to Bright. The swing and puts it in the corner.
Give Bright the ball where she needs it. She's going to score. Great set that time by Aspinwall.
Mary Peterson, her team trailing here by 6. Alderson, front row Hilly from Ashburn. Sydney Hilly another kill.
Hilly uncorks on another one here. Alderson, great pass, good set outside. Aspinwall late getting her hands up. That's why that ball goes off at such an awkward angle. Hilly's just that good though.
21-14. Gore serving. Aspinwall in the middle of Bright. Punches it down for a point.
Bright's not finished.
No. Not going to go down without a fight in perhaps her last match. Melissa Peterson serves. Hilly comes back to Hilly from Ashburn. Tips it over. Aspinwall to Bright. Blocked at the net by Hilly. Gets the point for Champlin Park.
Big block.
Claflin back in, Ashburn out. Hilly to serve. Aspinwall back to Bright. Cross-court kill from Lauren Bright.
But there's the problem. Now Bright has to go to the back row. We'll see if they've got an answer here. Another good set from Aspinwall. Good finish from Bright. She's back serving now. Going to need to help her team from there.
Hilly to Alderson. Renee Alderson gets Champlin Park point 23.
Great pass here. Good set. Blocks a little confused there. Aspinwall probably should have been helping with that one.
Aspinwall for Peterson. Alderson blocks that. Hinsey Attack blocked by Janae Alderson, and now it's match point for Champlin Park.
Claflin Alderson form a wall. Great block.
Weimer skirts trying to close it out for Champlin Park. Aspinwall back to Ginsey. Too long, and Champlin Park has advanced to the section final. And they sweep Maple Grove for the second time this season. 25-16, 25-23, and 25-16.
Good match by the Rebels. Hats off to the Crimson on a great run this year. 9-match win streak ended today by Champlin. Good swing here, the type of swing you want your kids having. She just misses. Good volleyball for all 3 sets. Came down to first contact. Especially proud of how these young women played and represented their school tonight. Good volleyball. Champlin advances to another section final. Their opponent to be figured out later on today.
They're now 26-4 in the season. Maple Grove finishes the year 17-13. We'll take a break, come back and hear from a couple of the winning Rebel players in a moment. You're watching Section 5 3A volleyball on 12 Sports.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. His first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. He's learning production skills and now has access to cutting-edge equipment. He's working on local music productions, meeting new people, and gaining experience needed to produce his own show. Best of all, he's sharing his passion for music with others in his community. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Champlin Park wins. They advance to the Section 5 3A Championship with a 3-set sweep over Maple Grove. Welcome back to Whiteside High School. John Jacobson with Hannah Krimble and Allie Miller. And Allie, congratulations first of all on the win. What did you think your team did well tonight?
I think we played really well on defense, and we were hitting a lot of their zones, but the other team did really good defending, and it was just a well-played match by both teams. That
second set was tight. That could have gone either way. How big is it to win that one, and you're up 2-0 going into the third set?
It's very big because it's good to know that we, in like pressure situations, we can come out with that win.
You played Maple Grove earlier in the season, but it seemed like they were a better team later in the year. How much fun is this to win and advance on to the section final now?
It's very fun. I think the whole team's excited to go back to the section finals again and hopefully get back to state.
And I know you guys have talked about that, just one more win, right?
Yep, exactly. One more win.
You get to watch the second semifinal. Do you enjoy that? Relax a little bit and see who your opponent's going to be?
Yeah, definitely. It's good to watch the team a little bit before we play. Get to know how they play a little bit.
Congratulations on the win. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Hannah Krimble, for you, your senior year, how much are you enjoying this year and playing volleyball with this group?
It's very exciting. It's very exciting to come back with a lot of the girls. Of course, we miss our seniors from last year, but I'm having a really good time.
How well are you guys playing right now? Do you feel you're playing as well as you've played as a team all season?
We're playing really, really well, but we always know there's room for improvement, and we work every day to get there.
Played well as a team. You respect your opponent every time you go out, saying, you know, this could be our last match when you get to this point in the season?
Yeah, exactly. You can't overthink or underestimate any team, and Maple Grove did really well tonight, and we had to practice hard, and it paid off in the end.
You look ahead to Saturday, and what's going to be going through your mind, and what are you going to be working on in practice the next 2 days leading up to that match?
We got to focus. We know what we got to focus on, and we just got to play our game. And we got to play our game and not worry what's on the other side of the court and focus on ourselves.
Enjoy this one. Good luck at Anoka Saturday.
Thank you so much.
Hannah Krimble, Allie Miller from Champlin Park Volleyball. Again, they win in 3 straight over Maple Grove, and will play either Whiteside or Osseo Saturday at 1 p.m. at Anoka High School for a right to go to the state tournament representing Section 5 3A. That does it for our first semifinal tonight from Whiteside High School. And for Andy Gugesberg and all of our crew, I'm John Jacobson. Thanks for tuning in for our coverage of the Section 5 Volleyball Tournament.